Welcome to the Country Watch Political Intelligence Briefing Quick Hits, a weekly briefing of hot stories across the world in brief. I'm Denise Youngblood Coleman, and I'm the Editor-in-Chief and Senior International Affairs Analyst at Country Watch. It's the week of the 59th inaugural ceremonies, and that makes the United States the featured country in the Political Intelligence Briefing. On January 20th, 2021, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. will be inaugurated as the 46th President of the United States. On the same day, Kamala Devi Harris will be sworn in as the country's vice president. Typically, the presidential inauguration in the United States has been the world's oldest democracy's answer to the coronation of a head of state. Indeed, the inauguration ceremonies have been a jubilant celebration characterized by cheering crowds, pomp, ritual, tradition, and followed by the spectacle of parades and the glamour of gala balls. In 2021, however, the inauguration amid a lethal pandemic and in the days after an insurrectionist attack on the Capitol, the swearing-in ceremony would be a very different affair. In order to prevent against coronavirus transmission and to guard against a repeat of the violence and chaos that rocked the nation's capital, the 2021 inauguration would be marked by a limited audience and unprecedented high security. Another departure from the past would be the absence of the outgoing president. Normally, the inauguration is witnessed by the incoming president's predecessor, regardless of whether he or she was on the ballot. Indeed, the outgoing president normally greets the incoming president, and they share a ride together to the Capitol for the inauguration of their successor. Still bitter about his election defeat, Donald Trump has refused to attend the inauguration. Joe Biden, for his part, welcomed the absence of Trump, saying Trump's decision to stay away was good. The twice impeached Trump was planning to leave Washington, D.C. on the morning of the inauguration and head to Mar-a-Lago, his residence in Florida. Trump would leave office with the lowest job approval of his presidency, 29%, according to a poll conducted by the Pew Research Center. Vice President Mike Pence, on the other hand, was expected to be in attendance at the inauguration. The inaugural ceremonies will commence with the national anthem, the invocation, and the Pledge of Allegiance around 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Vice President-elect Kamala Harris will be sworn into power by Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor shortly before noon. Kamala Harris will make history as the first female vice president, the first Black vice president, and the first Indian vice president. On the Capitol's West Front, in keeping with tradition, President-elect Biden would then be sworn in by Chief Justice John Roberts at noon Eastern Standard Time. Once he is sworn into power as the 46th President of the United States, President Joe Biden will deliver his inaugural address. President Biden will then go to the Capitol's East Front for the long-standing tradition of the Pass and Review, whereby the new president assesses the military troops. After the Pass and Review, President Biden would be joined by Vice President Harris and former Presidents Barack Obama, George W. Bush, and Bill Clinton, along with their spouses, and would travel to Arlington National Cemetery for the wreath-laying ceremony at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Escorted by every branch of the military, Biden would then go from 15th Street to the White House. A virtual parade featuring performances from across the United States would follow. There would be no glamorous gala ball given the pandemic conditions. Instead, a 90-minute program called Celebrating America would be nationally broadcast. While we have been focused on the most shocking election in U.S. modernity, elections are taking place in other parts of the world, notably Uganda. There, long-serving President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni was re-elected to power against a populist reggae artist, Bobby Wine. According to the president and the Electoral Commission, Museveni was re-elected with close to 59% of the vote share, while his main rival, Bobby Wine, took 35%. But according to Bobby Wine, there was vast evidence of vote rigging. The international community has expressed concern over the conduct of the election, but President Museveni warned against foreign meddling. In Russia, Kremlin critic and opposition politician Alexei Navalny, who was poisoned on a flight in August of last year, returned from Berlin in Germany to Russia. Upon landing in Moscow, he was arrested. Back in August last year, Navalny collapsed while on a flight. He was taken to Germany for treatment. In Germany, testing showed that he had been poisoned with a rare Soviet-style nerve agent, Novichok. In a brazen move late last year, Navalny posed as a Russian National Security Council official and questioned an agent with the Russian intelligence service during a phone call. In that 45-minute conversation, it was revealed that Navalny was poisoned through his underpants. A few days ago, Navalny returned to Russia with a sense of resolution, saying that Russia was his home. Upon landing on Russian soil in Moscow, he was arrested at passport control. In North Korea last week, Kim Jong-Un announced an expansion to North Korea's nuclear arsenal. Of particular concern, the development of a nuclear submarine capable of launching ballistic missiles. Also of concern, plans for military development, including long-range ballistic missiles capable of being launched from land or sea. In particular, the development of intercontinental ballistic missiles with precision targeting of up to nearly 10,000 miles, an expanse that could ostensibly reach the continental United States. For the incoming Biden administration, the North Korean conundrum, which has bedeviled several administrations regardless of party, was expected to become even more complicated. One obvious possibility was that North Korea could take provocative action by carrying out a nuclear test or missile test to draw attention to Washington, D.C. Finally, as global coronavirus deaths cross the 2 million mark, and as the United States hits 400,000 deaths, please remember to avoid unnecessary gatherings, observe social distancing, and wear a mask. For more information about these and other stories, read my coronavirus report, as well as my weekly political intelligence briefing, both of which are accessible from the front page of the CountryWatch website at www.countrywatch.com. Thank you for your time. Have a great day, and remember that we live in an interconnected world.